Well, this is the last video you need to be able to wrap up this project, and it's sort of maybe a tiny bit out of order, but we'll try to make sure you get that. You've learned how to make a slate, now you're going to learn how to make closing credits. I got this music from Dexter Britton on on Free Music Archive. Free Music Archive works, and other sites like it work, because people put their work up with the expectation that either they'll get a little money, this tip the artist jar, or at a minimum, people will credit them and their name gets around, and that's how people share things. So you have to do a couple things so that you can actually be able to use this song. One of the first things you have to do is you have to right-click and you have to copy the link address, okay? Whenever you take music, it is very helpful to go to your computer, go to Notepad. Let me just find that on this computer. And on a Mac, it would be TextEdit. And go ahead and paste in a few key details. I want the name of the artist, spelled correctly, and the name of the song. And this song was The Time to Run. And I just want to make sure I got it right. It was actually Finale. The Time to Run, parentheses, Finale. So that's what you need. And you really, really, truly need to spell things right. So Finale. Okay, have I finally made it there? Great. So I'm going to Control C, I'm going to copy that, and I will stash this away for now. Here's what you are producing. You're producing a closing credit that looks professional. Let me just get this video to the end, and this is one of mine. So the client really liked the music, and here's what we have to do. We have to have a closing credit that looks like this. Let me tell you why this works. It says really clearly music, okay? This is the music credit. Has the name of the song in italics, the name of the artist, nice and big, and these words, obtained under a Creative Commons license from, and then the URL. So that if someone wanted this song, they could go get it right here. All right? Now, look at the style, okay? We have nice, clear word music. This is italics. This is, I think, this is bold. This is not bold. This is a little smaller, but it's bold. And this is nice and straight, no fancy things. Everything's normal. It should not be like big words, music, or together in the empty, okay? It should be nice and clean. So that's the information you need. We're going to go ahead and take care of this right now. We'll hit Control T. We're going to make a closing credit. And we'll say OK. I'm going to go ahead and create a text box. And I'm just going to paste in my, excuse me, my text. And I think I'm missing something, but let's see. We'll find out in a second. There we go. So two things you got to keep in mind, and I didn't explain this in the earlier thing. You have two sets of borders here. This is called the title safe zone, which means that your title should be within this inner wall, okay? You can go a little bit over, but I would never go over half, or I would really try not to. This is called the action safe zone, and it means that anything out here, out past this line, may indeed be cut off, okay? So you have these two lines, and we need to make this text fit in some cool way. So let's first off, let's start by making this box a little bigger so that we can see our options. And okay, so I want to take care of a few things. I want to put my song in a separate box. So I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'll tell you why I do that in a second. I want to go ahead and make this a little smaller. Remember, I'm keeping an eye on the aspect ratio. And I definitely want to keep this in. I'm going to go ahead and work full zone here. And I'm going to center that text. And let's just highlight the top. I tend to use Myriad Pro quite a bit. In this case, I'm going to try this text, and it looks kind of funky. Whoops, I want something in italic, so I'm definitely not going to use that. So let's find Myriad Pro. There's Myriad Hebrew, and that's reasonably close. I want the name of the song. In my case, I'm just going to use italics, and that feels a little big to me, so maybe like 86. I'm going to get his name in the same thing, and that was Myriad Arabic, and I'm going to bold his name. There's no official thing you have to do, okay? And now I want 2 separate text boxes, so let me move this around a little bit. I'm going to put this right in the middle. I want a word, single word. It's going to say music. I won't use italics for that. I will use just plain bold, and I'm going to center that. And I want to align things, so I want things to start appearing in the center. So let's move this up a little bit, snug that up, get that lined up. That's reasonably close. I will hit this button so that goes right in the center. This, so that if I made this over here, it pops it right in the center. I'm going to keep space. Every now and then I click off to just look at the space. That feels a little much, so I'm going to do that. I'll hit that again. And I want one more text box. I'm going to pop it down here. And I want to paste in that URL, but I want to say where it's obtained from. So let's hit Control V. I have my URL. It's a very long one, so I'm going to do this in 2 decks. Let's just make this a little big. And actually, I might even make it 3, but let's see. Let's start off by making it smaller. Should be big enough to read. Okay, now that's going to be really long. So I will put another break right there. And you'll see I really have to make sure I get all the lines in, and that's great. I want to add my words that it was obtained under a Creative Commons license from, and I popped a return. A couple quick things: Creative and Commons are capitalized, licenses not. You'll see now, again, I'm missing things, so I'm going to go ahead and make this big. I've got everything. I'm going to make this a little smaller. I'm going to get rid of Adobe Arabic, and I want to go with the same font I've been using. Let's keep it nice and straight for people. And it was Myriad Hebrew. Myriad Hebrew. I got the wrong one here. So let's go ahead and find this right there. I'll change this. I changed this to be in the right font. I made that a little smaller. I'm going to highlight all this. And I'm going to change this as well to Myriad Hebrew. Now, if I can't quite find it, and I can't, I'm going to go ahead and type it, Myriad Hebrew. There it is. Click off. It's now that. Now, look how much bigger it is. So, I want to drop that down in size. Nice. That's something like that works fine. That's 47. I'll pop that in the center, and let's make this box a little smaller. And I want to bring this down, and I'll pop that in the center. So now I have a reasonably clean title page, and you'll see I want to balance things a little bit. Okay, I don't want to be crazy big, and it's feeling big to me. So let's go ahead. Let's highlight, got to keep heating the T. Let's highlight this. Let's drop that to, if that's 86 right now, let's go to 82. He is currently 76. Let's go to 72. And instead of fussing, I'll just pop it like that. Okay, now my last thing, these two feel a little tight together, so I'm going to use leading and just spread them a tiny bit more. And you know what? You do this by eye. Okay, and I feel pretty good. My last quick check, I'm going to use the arrow key. I want to make sure everything's in the center of this. There's nothing worse than like looking at something that's all done and realizing you're slightly off. And there you go. That's my closing title. I'll go ahead and close this. Double check my spelling. I'm good. I want to add this to my project, so I'm just going to go drag it here. And I'll probably fuss with things a little more, put a transition. This becomes the end. I actually want my project to end on a black screen. So I'm going to, pop my headphones on. I really want to hear this. I don't want to do this just crazily. But let's say I want my music to start fading in this shot. Okay. So it's gonna, as we hit this shot, then we wrap up with this shot, we're gonna, and I probably want to fade this a little faster. Something like this. Maybe I'll start that fade a little earlier. I still have this darn curve, so I'm going to go ahead, make sure these are linear. Linear means straight, right? And now it's going to go down. And now as people are watching the credits, and there it fades out. And there you go. That took a while, but I hope it helped. Save your work, and we're good to go.